Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single from only £1.20, a return from only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talk in Town. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome. Shelter from the storm. I hope your damage has not been too severe. If you've not yet heard, Matt Phillips has lost a roof tile. It shook him up really quite badly. So we'll go tender with the Romanian wine drinking devil this evening. But looking forward to tonight's show, a meeting of the minds. Before we get any further, Colin Plum, happy birthday. A special one to a special man, the absolute goat of Talking Town. Happy birthday. £1.79 from Jeremy. Love it. How are you? I'm not too bad. I hope the chat is doing really well. It is really busy. Lloyd, fucking storm. Fell my tree into my fence. Let's try and rearrange those words there, Lloyd. Fucking storm made a tree fall into my fence. Shocking. I mean, terrible, isn't it? I've got a big tree out of this window here. I've been keeping my eye on it all day. In addition to, obviously, the same thing that everybody in the country has been keeping their eyes on. Let's be honest. We've all been watching one thing. Let's be truthful. Kevin, hope everyone's all well and have us all safe today. Absolutely. Rob Holmes, welcome in. Lee Brown, Megan's in the chat. Welcome in, Megan. Nice to see you. Mike Baker, Andrew Plum, who bought the goat a Chinese for his birthday tea. Andrew. Great son there, absolutely. Durrance, one honest. Oh, it's your birthday as well, the Durrance. Happy birthday. Right, for those that are new here, this is the show that transitioned you from the week to the weekend. The weekend is finally here. We can rejoice. As I've said at the top of the show, a meeting of the minds. And maybe you want to put those minds to the test because we have got a prediction league running. 4 fixtures. It takes 60 seconds to enter. It's free to enter. And you could win a fabulous prize this week. Football for Brains. It is the quiz book to test you from Stephen End. I'll give you a little flavour of what is in the book. True or false? This is question 129. At the age of 5, Rashford preferred to be a goalkeeper. Is that true or false? I've got no fucking idea, to be honest with you. I have to look at the answers. But, you get the idea. It's that type of thing. Football for Brains. Spot prize on this week's prediction league. Look at that. Look, a free game, a free prize. You can't get better than that, to be brutally honest with you. Wouldn't get that in other places, that's for sure. You've got a prediction league as well. This is obviously the league that's total up through the year, through the season, I should say. I do apologise. Right, let's park that. Link is in the chat, or it will be when I put it in. Sadly, I've got to start with some injury news. Carl Edwards, he's out for the rest of the season. That is sad news. I was hoping to see him back. But Lee Evans is back in training. So for those that will do their 1-11s, keep that in mind. Does Lee Evans come into the team for you? Or does Tyreek Backinson keep his place? We shall start with that conversation a bit later. Right, let's bring in my boxing counterpart. You saw him a second ago. It's Matthew Knockout Phillips. Matthew, I saw you only a second ago. How are you?
Good, thanks. I'm still good. I've got to get my head round to Ipswich now. I've been so invested in the boxing show. I've got to get my head round. How do you do these multi-sports during one evening? I don't know how you do it.
So that's how the professionals roll.
Yeah, exactly,
although it's taken me 4 minutes to get my head around it as well. It's like I got so different things I was trying to think about what I need to get, like the prediction league, the prize, and all that different jazz. But just for those that perhaps haven't seen the greatest boxing show on earth, tell them why they should spend 20 minutes of their time looking at talking knockouts.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got another Battle of Britain tomorrow. It's called Judgment Day. It's Kell Brook versus Amir Khan. Almost 20 years in the making. It's a grudge match. It's fiery. No titles on the line, just bragging rights. So, yeah, check it out. It's only 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. 20, 25 minutes. And, you know, if you're a YouTube member or a Ko-Fi fifth stander, it's all part of the beautiful package, right? $4.99.
Yeah.
You get the talking towns, the talking knockouts, the away day guys, the darts only last night. You know, $4.99. We make it stretch at TT Towers, don't we? We really stretch that Elizabeth Fry, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great value. Yeah,
absolutely. And you're a member as well, aren't you?
I am. I'm in it for $5 a month.
Absolutely, in for a penny, in for a pound.
So I keep a place on the show, everybody. Thanks to play.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't necessarily go. I mean, I wouldn't rule it out either, to be honest. Exactly. I wouldn't go that far. Right. Talking of storms, we've all got a storm game. What's yours, Matt?
My storm name?
Your storm game. One game you went to where it was either blowing a gale, snowing, whatever it might have been. For me, it's Dean Boach's debut against Watford.
Oh, God, the 4-1.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That wind was the greatest assist machine that day we've ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely. I always think back to you think of clement weather, you think of the Ipswich 3 Leicester 0 game, don't you, with the snow on the pitch? Well, I watched that on Sky. The one I always think back to, even though it wasn't windy, do you remember the fog that came over at Ipswich versus Wigan? We beat them 2-1. That was the Leighton Baines game where he scored from about 40 yards out.
Ah, yes, I do.
Yeah. I always remember my dad going, "Is there a fire in the stadium?" Because it came out of nowhere, didn't it?
It did.
It was like smoke, but it was fog. Yes, I always remember that for like adverse weather. Absolutely.
I do remember that. I've just had a message from one of our contributors. #TalkingWrestling ? Look at that. Look.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Making moves like Vince McMahon, Benjamin Michael, Jason Scotland in the snow. Absolutely. See, we've all got a storm. We've all got a storm or a bad weather game.
That's my first year wedding anniversary. That game.
Watching
in the snow. It snowed on my wedding anniversary, on my wedding day, and that day as well. Weird. Climate change, right?
Yeah. We would love it. Look at Harry Butcher would love a WWE show. There we go. Right. Talking to WWE and $4.99, the only place you can get own content like this, except OnlyFans, is. Mr. Richard Moss, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good, mate. Look, playoff vibes.
He's had a shave. He's wearing a bucket hat.
It's nice to see you on this day yet again, my friend. We spent some time once upon a time together on this day, didn't we? Do you remember what we were doing a couple of years ago on this day? Has he frozen? Am I talking to myself?
Oh, he has frozen. Is this when he was on the radio?
Can you see me?
Well, we can't see. Can hear. Oh, there he goes. Here he is. Thank you ever so much.
Was this you two on the radio?
No. It was Bedsheet Mania.
We've spent $2 million.
Statman, he DM'd me saying it's banter, and I said, well, you could have actually tagged me in it. You know.
Tell you what, though, I'm right. But I was there. I was behind you that day, and I'm right behind you now. Back-to-back win since November. Spent 12. I'm with you on that all the way. But look, listen.
What has Jim done since town? Sacked at QPR.
All right. You're friends now.
If you want to go down manager routes after town, son, you don't want to go there with me after this morning. So let's move that one on.
We had a big George Burley discussion today.
Yeah, Martin's still bagging off George Burley, even though that was the last success we've had as a football club.
It's just jealous he wasn't in the San Siro with us.
I would never say I was doing what you just said I was doing there, Rich. But
just going to say, couple of shout outs, obviously to the fishermen. You know,
yes. All the best, Mark.
And Mark Ramsey, whose dad passed away. Yeah. Morris passed away 2 months away from his 102nd.
Yeah, I saw
birthday.
that. What's a shitter?
You know,
when you get up there, the first thing you're going to say is, "Come on, you could have at least given me 2 more months."
Well, I messaged Mark, and he said if it wasn't for his dad, he's in the centre spot tomorrow watching the game. That's where he watched his first game with his dad, and he said if it wasn't for his dad, he wouldn't be a Town fan. So. He's seen it all, like, you know. His dad must have seen it all, you know. 101. What a fantastic innings!
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah,
and big shout out to the GOAT. If anybody doesn't know in the chat, it is Colin's birthday, so if we could have a lot of GOAT emojis, please
get them in and like.
And Colin, he's very grumpy. He's very grumpy. Do you want to go there now?
I do, but before you do, I just want to say back to Mr. Ramsey, Mark Ramsey. Obviously, I spoke to him only at the football last home game. So, spent some time with him. He's a great guy. And I'm really, really sorry for your loss, Mark. And if anything I can do to help, you know where I am. Just message me, DM me, email me, whatever it needs. And yeah, you've got it. Just I'm really sorry for your loss. But it is the GOAT's birthday, as you say. And we're all about standards at TT Towers. We're all about keeping them high. Tell the people at home, Rich.
Right. So me and Matt have had Colin on the phone more than once today. Andrew bought him a wonderful book, 1981 40-year anniversary book. And great book.
Souvenir. What a souvenir.
Unfortunately, obviously with Colin, nothing slips his eye, does it, Matt?
Attention to detail, everybody. It's very key.
Exactly. And if we need a club historian, because obviously the actual club historian who actually has looked at the book wasn't actually doing his job properly. Yeah. We actually need a proper.
Yeah, have we got one?
The GOAT is available.
Yeah, well, the GOAT is available. I think he should get the role because he could do a bloody better job than what you're about to see.
We've got a couple of images from said book that Colin sent us this morning. So this picture here, it says it's Kevin Steggles. Who is that, Matt?
Ian Cranston. Not a moustache in sight.
Correct. Can we have...
Hang on. For all us people under the age of 45.
Yeah.
Who?
Kevin Steggles. Kevin Steggles was always the backup, wasn't he, Rich? To either Russell Osman or Terry Butcher. So if one of those two was out...
He played 50-odd games. I was looking earlier on Wikipedia. He played 50-odd games for Town.
Yeah, he was good, to be fair. He'd have got into any other team, wouldn't he? He just couldn't, he was just unfortunately third behind Butcher and Osman. Yeah.
Next picture.
Second picture is... It says it's Robin Turner. Who is that, Matt?
A man with a moustache. Well, that's Clive Woods, who'd left Ipswich at this point in 81. It's very disappointing. I think he'd gone to Norwich.
Yeah, he went to Norwich.
Yeah. It's poor, that, isn't it? I can see why Colin was so disappointed.
Obviously, Colin's rung the club. Couldn't get through to Mark Ashton. Obviously,
that was his first call.
I did say to Colin, on the back of the Kings of Anglia interview, when they said about Mark Ashton's whiteboard in his office with quite a lot of things obviously going on, I said, that should really go to the top of the list.
Yeah. The GOAT has rung. We need to get in touch with him.
No refund. Colin was told no refund. He could exchange it for the league title winning team. There's a 61. There's a double book in it, Matt. At 61 team and the 91-92. Colin's already got that book. So
when you think about, like we say, so we even said this today, didn't we? Just not to bore everybody, but Mike was saying some Scottish clubs were nothing. I mean, Rich said, well, we've been a nothing club for 20 years. So when you actually bring a souvenir book out, right, 40 years on from like winning a major European trophy, just try and get the players' names right. It's not difficult, is it?
Matt Stanner, apparently some of the flag poles blew down onto a car at the club today. There we go. Andrew Plum, good old Planet Blue.
They also did blame COVID takes a bashing for everything. COVID was even mentioned in this, and I'm thinking...
What's COVID got to do with pictures being wrong?
You're proofreading it on the screen. That's such a lame excuse. Terrible excuse.
Yeah, the amount of shit we get on this platform if something weren't right.
Well, I mean, it's a thing for the club. If they're watching, if Dan Powerful is watching or Marcus is watching, why not just have a little... Martin knows they're watching. Why not have a little fans forum? Get the Blue Monday boys involved, Kings of Anglia boys.
And you've got a fans forum. It's here every week, mate. It's here every week.
And if they're watching also...
And proofread all the publications. That's what they could do.
And if Marcus and Dan Palfrey are watching also... We all see, come to the fan zone before the game.
Yeah.
The man up there, he wants to have, we've asked, haven't we? Can we have...
At the start of the year, don't now.
Could we store our could we store our gear at the ground?
Right.
A bit like what Blue Action do. And we was told no. No, you can't.
Yeah, can we store some stuff at the ground? Can we have a little bit of the fan zone space for a gazebo to obviously keep the weather off our equipment and do a show? We think it would bring people to the fan zone. No, now they're saying, please come to the fan zone. Well, fuck you. I ain't going near it. Out of principle.
We could do the gazebo tomorrow, couldn't we? Because it's going to rain tomorrow at the statue. Bring them umbrellas, Martin, the golf one.
Right, it is 8:47 on Friday night. Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially It is now. Thank you to David ever so much. £5 happy birthday, Colin. It is now officially the weekend.
Yes.
So get those bottles uncorked, unclipped, unzipped, whatever, however you need to do it. Just do it. Raise a beer. Away day weekends are in swing.
Yeah.
And that actually was, Matt, I think that actually was today why Planet Blue was closed, because Storm Goat was blowing an absolute hoolie.
It was.
Well, let me say happy birthday to Colin and happy birthday to the great man, Bobby Robson. We love you.
Yeah, absolutely. And to Michael just in the chat as well. We love you.
And
of course,
here.
Mr. Ramsey as well. Cheers. What are we drinking, by the way? I've got a lovely, you can see what I've got. Lovely IPA, whatever. It's which one of this is? You think is this a Boncho? No. It's one of the ones. I'll talk to you about it in a minute about this. What are you two drinking?
I've got Australian Shiraz tonight.
Beautiful.
18
crime. Yeah, I fucking know.
Yeah, Australian vibes.
He's obsessed.
How many bottles of these have you got?
Well, this is still the one that Colin bought me for my birthday.
Wow.
Wait, what are you doing? Brewing it?
I don't drink loads. I'm not like you. Oh, hang on, you were drinking non-alcoholic the other week, so you've got no legs to stand on.
Well, this is real. But do not be like me, ladies and gentlemen. That's a sentence I've often said to people. Do not be like me. Because I went to the porch where I keep my beer because it's nice and cold in there. And I had very limited bottles of away day beers. And I was very depressed because I was like, oh, what I want is not here. So don't be like me. Head to awaydaybeers.com and become a box-to-box beer club or a super sub beer club.
Have you signed up yet, mate?
No, that's what I'm saying. I need to because I went to the porch and I got a very limited range.
I'm going super sub beer club because you get a magazine in that as well, Matt.
Do you?
Wow.
I suppose you can read. But
look at Jake James, £5.34. Wonderful.
Look at that. Look, I love it. If you're wondering why I'm doing such a weird amount, it's because I now means I have exactly 69 favourite number in my account. So cheers, lads. Have a good day. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Beers up.
Jake.
Pints and points tomorrow.
You get free glass, don't you, with some of these packages that Josh is still going?
Jake. You know what the saying is, Martin. You know, Jake. Wine 'em, dine 'em, 69 'em.
Cheers. It's not yet 9 o'clock. It's not yet 9 o'clock, boys and girls. Keep our perspective on it. It's not yet 9
shout out
PM.
to Josh because he had an advert in the Football League paper. I think I saw this.
Yeah, and I think the editor of that watches us. Big up.
Oh, yeah. Nice,
John, I think his name
is. Right. Everybody. It might be League One, but we're all over the globe, right?
This is it. Right. Dinner parties. McKenna and Ashton recently had their own star-studded dinner party. McKenna said this: we met a good batch of, I think you can safely call them Ipswich legends, both from the successful teams of the 70s right up to the successful team of the noughties. Everyone from Russell Osman, Mick Mills, Terry Butcher, and that generation and that team that had such fantastic success for the club are after players from that age group right through to the youngest, I guess, would have been Darren Ben and Darren Ambrose. So you've both got 60 seconds or less each. I want first your thoughts on the club doing that. I know Lambert did something very similar where it's like a cup of coffee and a Greg sausage roll or something. And then second, I'll ask you a second question after that. But first of all, your thoughts on the club doing that. Rich, you first.
Talking to Greg's, you can now buy Greg's merchandise. Did you know that, Matt?
Can you?
I didn't know. What can you get? Shirts?
From Primark.
Yeah, because that's what you want to do, innit? Walk down the street wearing Greg's across your fucking... Anyway, 1 minute, go.
Look, he's good that he's getting all these ex-players in. And Darren Ambrose, though, was he a club legend? Not really, but decent player. Obviously, him and Bentley come as a couple, didn't they? Because obviously they played together. Look, he's obviously talking to them and getting their thoughts. And Kieran's younger than all of them, isn't he? Even Darren Ambrose and Bentley. So
youngest around the table. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, look, I'd love to be a fly on the wall, see what they're chatting about. Is it just football? You know,
right?
Is it about the area where he's living? He's probably chatting a whole range of subjects, isn't it? Really?
What is it about Woodbridge? Why is everyone loving
it?
It's just by the training ground, isn't it?
Every time I go, it's closed. Matt, how about yourself? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I remember when sort of Lambert came in and we was all kind of optimistic and all that kind of thing, all delusional. I don't know what you want to call it. But I always remember him saying he'd got people in, legends in, people he'd seen on the corridors in pictures on frames and got them in to get their kind of their kind of take of what was going on at the club and why it was like treading water and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's a good thing. So I think it's good what they've done. But also I think, why just players? Why not get some fans in? We're not mental. We're getting sit down.
Hello, Darren. I loved your header at Southampton.
Why not?
It was great.
I mean, these are the people that are, paying their hard-earned cash out. I mean, you've got people like Cruncher going up to Barrow. Why not get these kind of people around the table and say, what's been going on?
Fucking Barrow.
Do you know what I mean?
You're
the ones that are spending, the 7,000 at MK last week. We're the ones that are spending our hard-earned on following home and away,
Get the standards there.
It doesn't mean your opinion doesn't count. Do you know what I mean? If you've been watching, I was thinking this the other day, if you've been a bird watcher for 40 years, everyone's going to go, he's an expert on bird watching. If you've been watching Ipswich for 40 years, everyone goes, oh, you don't really need his opinion.
Time. I like it. I like that suggestion. We should feed that back. Absolutely. Second part of the question, dinner parties. 30 seconds this time, gentlemen. You could have any two guests to a dinner party. Who would you have and why? Matt, you can go first this time. I'll give you 5 seconds and then I'll put the counter on. 5, 4, 3, 2, go.
Smith.
Who?
Groucho Marx and Marquis Smith.
Why?
Ian lofted on drive. Ian went over that. Groucho Marx, one of the best ever comedians ever from the golden age of Hollywood. Marquis Smith, eccentric music legend. There you go.
What would you talk about?
All sorts.
All right. What?
I just want them two to come round me out.
CDE swing. All right, Rich, 30 seconds or less. Who would you have?
Well, this goes off a little bit of our WhatsApp chat last night. I'll have Ian Botham and I'll have Tiger Woods, Matt, because they're two sporting legends.
Nice. Yeah. Ian Botham. Martin thinks Michael Jordan is the greatest sportsman ever, everybody. I'm not having that.
He is.
Great sportsman. Listen, great sportsman.
Is
but
he the
who
greatest
plays basketball?
player ever? I thought LeBron was the main man now. Or Shaq.
Shaq?
No. All right, I love that. 4.49 from Jeremy. We love you, Jeremy. Thank you ever so much. All right, there you go. So mine would be, I was going to go for a town flavour. You've never gone for a town flavour. That surprised me. Stephen Fry and Delia Smith and I shit in their dinner. Oh, for fuck's sake, mate.
Be very good company.
Raise a glass to that.
Stephen Perry, Marx was a misery in real life.
Yeah, it was a bit depressive, apparently. Yeah, it's true.
Keon, Bentley's trying to get Jack Wilshere to play for town. Legend.
No thanks.
Nah, I'm all right. I'll pass. Ben Moore. Every time I get Greg, it's always the same. Need some variety. Also, didn't get a foot long, so his roles are holding a grudge.
I've already been in Greg's. I bought.
We can imagine.
A donut in there, and I bought a Tottenham cake in there. You know that one, the sponge with pink icing on it.
Oh yeah,
cake? That was nice.
I'm not quite sure if it's a place where people with 4% body fat tend to hang out. To be fair,
I wish I did have 4%. I haven't.
What have you got now? It used to be 4%.
It's floating around about 15 at the moment.
Oh,
yeah, 15. Lower than that, really annoying.
All right, I would have Michael Jordan, greatest ever sportsman to ever have lived, breathed, and.
You've seen The Last Dance, presumably.
Absolutely, yeah.
I've never watched it.
What?
Am I missing out?
Oh, it is quality, isn't it?
It is a great show.
It
is a great show. And I would have gone for a town flavour, but as neither of you have, I'll go for Jay Cutler. If you don't know who that is, look him up. Smoking Jay. Doesn't care about anything, just laid back as they like.
You've had Bart, Ipswich Town's greatest ever goalkeeper, who you claimed the other day.
You took that, mate.
What was it today? The anniversary of Bart running out the box at Norwich.
Yeah, you took that bait like a good one. I knew you'd take it. I left it out like mousetrap, and you just scurried into it. And
you can't be making mistakes in the derby games and expect me to like you.
I was live though, Matt, and I was looking at my Twitter, waiting for him to just nibble at it, and he did.
Not really,
Matt. Yes, you did. You know you did. Matt Stannar, Prince Philip, God rest his soul, some great stories about Alan in Brazil, just to see who could drink the most wine.
Good choices.
They've got the Escape to Victory dinner, I see, Matt.
Love that. I wish I could go. Loves it. That was the first video we ever rented. We got a video in the 80s.
See how much tickets are?
Like 200 or something, is it?
150 quid. Cheapest.
Lumpy, innit?
Why are people trying to compare Walton to Bart? Why are we trying to do that? Why is that a thing? Bart played in the Championship. Walton has barely played football.
Well, Walton's come from a Premier League club, hasn't he? But
but
you don't need to compare the two. A lot of people were comparing Walton to Craig Forrest in terms of his build and the way he's a keeper.
Oh, I like that. That's a good one. All right, moving on from dinner parties. Martin Pert, the ever mysterious. We've never heard of from Pert. Well, he was spoken about today by his friend and town boss, Kieran McKenna, who said, I can be a little bit more fiery with maybe a little bit more of, I don't know whether you can call it an Irish temperament at times, Rich. Leave it there. Mike's got more of a Suffolk temperament on a day-to-day basis. There's a nice balance in that way. He's obviously from a completely different part of the world with a different upbringing to me and a wide range of experience. I think it's been well publicized. He's traveled the world, traveled a lot in Europe, but also in South America to know about different styles of play and different styles of coaching. He's well connected across the football world. His contact booked is bigger than Matt Phillips. So he didn't really say that, but he said his contact book throughout the football industry always amazes me. So both of you, initial reaction to that. Obviously, Pert, never heard of. Do you mind that we never hear from him, or we've never heard from Pert yet? Is it better to operate in the shadows, as it were, or
we said, didn't we, Rich, when we were standing next to each other at MK last week, that Pert was a really vocal presence on the touchline, wasn't he? He was really cajoling, wasn't he, in that last kind of 10 minutes, like Lambert did when he first came in, that whirling dervish, the arms are going. He was real kind of the motivator, and McKenna has almost sat back a little bit and just leaving him to it. But Martin Pert's had profile before. All you got to do is go on like a podcast platform, put in Martin Pert, Vancouver Whitecaps. You can hear an hour interview with him. But
Bothers might be.
But he has been quiet, I suppose. I mean, I know someone who worked with him, said he's quite an eccentric character. I think when he travelled around Europe, trying to gain experience and visiting all these big clubs around Europe, he slept in the back of his car. So that shows you how committed he is. And
why do we need to hear from him? Why do we need to hear from him, Mike D? Because when George Burley was in charge and Dale Roberts was his number 2, did we ever hear from Dale Roberts? Not really.
Football has moved on from there, though.
I know it's moved on, but is it? We moaned on this platform when Paul Lambert wouldn't do his press interview and he'd wheel out Matt Gill or Stuart Taylor. So we can't have it both ways.
Give it to end the season.
I would like to hear from Martin Pert in Ipswich context, just to see what he brings to the table. It'd be interesting to hear. But yeah, I don't think you need to hear from him week on, week out. No.
Are you surprised to hear Kieran openly say, he's perhaps the more docile, more placid temperament, whereas I'm more fiery? Because everything we see from McKenna is this very one level, even kill. Yeah. So does that sort of peel back the curtain a little bit for you, Rich? And actually, behind the scenes, you get this level-headed Kieran McKenna in the open.
Yeah, this is what we're seeing. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors in the dressing room at half time.
Is that a little clue?
I would expect so. But he's worked under Mourinho. Mourinho was no shrinking violet, was he? He'd throw a player under the bus just like that, and he still does. I'm not saying he's going to be anything like him, but nowadays management has changed, though, hasn't it? With your teacups throwing around in the dressing room, players are
boots.
Players are wrapped in cotton wool, aren't they, Matt? So you have to approach them differently, and he's still learning about his players, isn't he? He's still wet behind the ears, really, as a manager, isn't he? But
I can't imagine him losing his temper particularly. I could never imagine Arsene Wenger. I think he's cut more from that mould, really. But
yeah, possibly.
Who knows? You don't know that, do you? You don't know.
Pat Rice, you could, though, couldn't you? You could think about Pat Rice losing his temper in the dressing room.
Well, that's why I always thought they'd have like this third figure that would come in a little bit more of a senior figure. Mike Phelan, for example, who could give you a bit of a bollocking. But it seems to be working with the two of them at the moment. So
it does. Speaking of which, McKenna takes charge of game number 10. Feels longer, but game number 10 tomorrow.
I was just going to say to Matt, what about Phil Neal when he's in the documentary with Graham Taylor and he's on the bench? That's a great game. That's the Holland game. Is that the Holland game when he's on there?
Yeah.
And
also the Norway, the one where we lose 2-0 at Norway. Yeah, hilarious. Is that on YouTube? Anybody's not seen it? Is it Do I Not Like Orange or something? Go and watch it.
Do I Not Like That? And Laurie McMenemy's on there as well. When John Barnes is getting hammered at Wembley by the crap, they're hammering him. He says they're hammering him. Yeah, that's out of order. He says.
Again, Graham Taylor, lovely fella. Yeah,
great man.
You just got me sacked. You know that? He's saying to the line, "You've just got me sacked."
Yeah. Oh, that is one of the key lines in that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, boss.
Got me sacked.
Yes, boss. That's what Phil Neal used to say.
Yeah.
Yes, boss.
Yes, boss. Yeah.
And obviously, I think that was that where Bradley Walsh's character in Mike Bassett was based off.
Oh, probably. Yeah, I would imagine so.
You know what I mean? Like a little bit of that taken off it. Because again, great, one of the great films. But yes, McKenna takes charge of game at number 10 tomorrow, and rotation has been a constant theme. Is it an approach to each fixture, like some fans suggest it is, or is it more of a no one staked a claim type theme, because McKenna had this to say today. We've rotated, and it's good to have those options, and we've wanted to have a look at different players, partnerships over the first period of games. But there's also a case of, for the forward players, that if you're producing in terms of your goals and your assists, then you're much harder to leave out of the team. I think it's an opportunity for all of them. I feel like we've now been able to have a good look at all of our forward players, apart from Edwards, who has picked up the injury. So I think the opportunity is there for them to go and really put their hand up and make a real claim for minutes. So is it game-by-game approach, as some fans suggest, or is it more of a case of actually nobody is playing well enough to put their hands above the other person and say, this is my place and my shirt? Matt?
Well, I mean, look, we was all surprised when Caden was picked up front on his own last week. So I do think you have to say it's a game-by-game basis. And I think I said this last Sunday. I do feel like a little bit, rather than sort of having, this is the Ipswich way. And I know Ashton said it in the interview with the KOA lads, that, you know, we're really seeing an identity a little bit. Are we seeing an identity? We seem to change from game to game, and we're trying to sort of negate the strengths of what the opposition are bringing to the table a little bit, I think. Would you say we've had an identity? I mean, there was elements against Gillingham away, wasn't there, where we saw his quick passing, and, you know, it was wonderful to watch. But then on other games, you know, against Gillingham at home, it was really slow, almost like Lambert era football. So I think we're just doing it game by game and looking to see. I mean, I think I've got the Burton's lineup from last week. They played 3-4-1-2. So I've got to think that we're probably going to try and negate that somehow on tomorrow. Yes, I think it's game by game for me anyway. That's how I see it.
I'm not quite sure how Mike D says pound for pound Edwards is our best player. He's got no goals and he's got no assists. He's showed some promise, but he's not our best player by a long stretch.
No, Raheem Harper is.
What? Now warming the bench at Crew?
Yes.
Hold on.
Come on, that was a deadpan finish. Come on.
Now, if you're Joe Pigott, you know, and he's saying like you've got to earn like by playing well, and he said after it was Gillingham when he played, wasn't it, Pigott? The home game. He said he had a good game, but then the next game when we went to Doncaster, he wasn't even in the 18. So
no.
That's a hard one for him to take on the chin when the manager's saying, you had a good game there, Joe, but sorry, you're not even making the bench, and he didn't even make the bench last Saturday.
Yeah.
Jackson was obviously picked last Saturday to do a job. Will he be picked again tomorrow? I don't think he will. You know, I don't think he will. Whoever comes in tomorrow, look, I think the last 7 goals, I think I said it on Sunday, none of our strikers have scored the last 7 goals that we've scored. So none of them's really sticking their hand up and saying, pick me. Whoever plays tomorrow up front, we'll have our 11s up soon. If you go and score a couple of goals, you're going to be really, really unlucky on Tuesday night when Cheltenham come to town if you're not in the lineup. If you play well and you score, you're probably going to keep your shirt, aren't you, really? I would have thought.
Yes.
But strikers can say they do need to play a run of games. Like Pigott needs to play a run of games. I don't think he's going to get it, you know. And I still think the strikers that we've got at the club at the minute, none of them really fit what McKenna wants. I don't think, personally. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they all left in the summer, Matt. You know, Bond's obviously on loan. Pigott's not had hardly any game time. Caden Jackson showed a good attitude. I still think he'll move on. James Norwood's the one who I think he's got that 12-month extension, which they might want to activate. I think with him, will he be 31, 30? Is he 32 nearly, Martin?
32, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
32,
is he really going to want to play second or third fiddle in League One, where we all know the affinity? I think Tranmere look like they're going to come up. It wouldn't surprise me if that's where he ended up, you know, where he had his success, got great affinity with the club. All the fans there love him. You know, it would not surprise me if he said, I want to play regular football. At his age, does he really want to be sitting on the bench playing a few games here and there for town? Because he's not going to be first choice next season, no matter what anybody thinks.
But then at 32, is he ever going to be that?
Well, he's not over the hill at 32, is he, particularly? But he did say on this very show, it was a wrench to leave Tranmere. If it had not been going to Ipswich to further his career, he'd like to see his career out. So
is he the type of striker that we want to build as? If we don't go up this season, even if we went up this season, I know he said on here, contrary to what I said, he said, I can play in the Championship. I don't think he'd come with Town if we went up. And I even think now, if we're wanting to build a set side next season to get out of this league, if we don't get out this season, is James Norwood going to be your number one striker?
I like this, Rich. It always fires up James Norwood when he's.
I'm not having a go. I'm just saying.
He fucking should do. He's played terrible last couple of weeks thanks to you. Sort it out, man. All right.
Well,
you two played nice with each other.
You saw with Royal, didn't you, when Shefke and Darren Bent left and he brought in Nicky Forster and Sam Parkin. It's quite difficult to bring strikers in over a summer and get them to gel. Look, we've seen how difficult it was to bring in a whole new team to gel. We're suffering for it now. So
you think we'd been in a shake-up, Matt, for any top star? Look, we're probably nearer to in the summer. We'll all do our shopping list, who we want or who's out there that we could get. You know, and we're obviously going to be at the top. We can pay the money. Look, with how much we paying Selena, you know, we can afford it.
Yeah.
We do need to get out of this league. You need someone who's going to get 20, 25 goals. Bond's got 12.
Yeah. Well, he looked like he was going to get. Well, I thought I said at the start of the season, he'd be my player of the year under 20 goals, but he's kind of stalled.
I said Pigger to get 24.
There you go. Is that King? 4 things I reckon. Bit for the game. Plus the whole squad. Pigger's doing well. Keeping the squad clean as whole. Mike D says, Rich, talk to me in a year. Keon Dobra has 0 goals, 1 assist in 25 plus games. But some people think he's amazing. True. Jeremy, what would make my birthday during next week is winning against Burton and winning against Cheltenham. Absolutely, Jeremy. And I wish you a happy birthday for next week if I don't see you in the meantime. Strikers in the skip, says Mike D. The good doctor reckons so, Rich. Anyone stands out, they'll stick in for the next few games. Nobody says he likes intelligent players. Andrew Plum, best to slag Nord off on here tonight. Hopefully he's watching Hat-Trick tomorrow.
I'm not slagging him off. I'm not telling him to get in the bin.
It's what the people want.
I just think at his age, he'll want to be number one. And he won't be number one here, and he could be number one at Tranmere, where he's got affinity with the club. And he told us on here.
Yeah.
It'd be sad, but never mind. Right. It's like you've been reading the script because Sam Morsey was put up in front of the media this week. It was his turn as the player. He said, I think the fans are starting to see us as a team they really like. There's no doubt about it. We're not there yet. In fact, we're still some off it. But if we keep getting better and we keep winning games, we're going to slowly close that gap between us and the playoffs. So fans are starting to see us as a team they like, Mr. Phillips. Your initial reaction to the above, and do you like us considering... Sorry, go on. Your reaction to that. Are you liking us?
Yes, I am. I wouldn't have gone to MK Dons otherwise if I didn't. Now, I've been really disconnected of Ipswich over the last few years. McCarthy, I found it boring. That season after we lost to Norwich in the playoffs. I didn't like that. And he had a bit of disdain for us, didn't he? And the old...
He did.
Fuck off thing, which I still find amazing that he survived that, but there you go. And then with Lambert, it promised so much, relegated, and then, it was a bit of a wet fart in the end. And I don't know. I mean, we've got, we've had the American takeover and we feel really connected to that. Well, I certainly do anyway. And it was great to see everyone's reactions to that. And we probably got a bit of entitlement apart from that and thought we were going to walk the division and we haven't done it. Maybe it was because, Cook came in and got his 19 players in. Maybe it was too many. Maybe he wasn't quite the right guy. Good manager, but maybe at the wrong time. But yeah, I feel really connected with it at the moment. And, going to an away game like last week with 7,000 other fans and, seeing the atmosphere and the players coming over and McKenna doing this to all the fans. It was great. Even though it was a 0-0, it was really good. It's all about connection. It's all about engagement.
He says the fans are finding us as a team that we're really starting to like. Or something along those lines. I've lost the quote now. I've deleted it. But it's not a stretch to say both of you really liked Paul Cook at the start because of what he was going to bring potentially to the club with his style of play and how he had other teams playing.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you now? Because earlier you said you don't know how you can't say what our style is, our philosophy is. So can you?
Well, I mean, can you really put down a philosophy and a style in 10 games? You probably can't. And the fact that we keep chopping and changing the team tells you everything. True. I think he probably doesn't really know. I mean, Ashton was probably being quite kind, really. That maybe we can see that word again, isn't it? Maybe we can see the green shoots of something. Well, you'll actually see come to fruition next season. I feel when maybe he's got players in there he actually wants because he's inherited all these players, hasn't he, other than Backinson. But yeah, I do feel the connection now. But like you say, if we keep on winning games, we will get towards that top 6. And, tomorrow, the next 2 games, we said, MK Dons, okay, we'll take a point now. You have to win the next 2 games, and you've got 7 points from 3 games. Again, still that's promotion form, isn't it?
It really is. It absolutely is. And on Morsey, Rich, position change. He actually said himself, this is what he said. It's really interesting, and I feel lucky that I'm a part of it. I don't think you want someone coming in telling you just keep doing what you're doing. He wants to be more advanced, where I can affect the game more. And it's not too dissimilar to the role I played last season for Neil Warnock at Middlesbrough. He wants me to look at different things, different patterns, and how I can affect the game in different places. So it's all very interesting and very impactful. I'm just trying to take it all on board and to try and deliver what he wants. So a slight change back to how he was playing at Borough. It's done him good, isn't it, doing that? And why were we doing it earlier?
What are his stats from last season? How many assists and how many goals did he get playing in this role at Middlesbrough?
That's well. He didn't say last year. He said earlier in the season. I think he said.
Because if he's playing that advanced role, look,
he did say last season. Right?
There were several times he wasn't there when he picked that ball up, especially in the first half. Yeah, and he really drove forward. But then he gets to a point, Martin, when sometimes you've got to pull the trigger, haven't you? Mm-hmm. If you don't buy a ticket for the lottery, you're not going to win it. So have a shot sometimes, Sam. Don't look for the past. I still think sometimes, not just him, but as a team, especially since McKenna's been there, we're trying to score the perfect goal.
Yeah, you said
all this what's the word? Intricate passing, around the box. And sometimes you've got to get it wide and get it in the box. Because if you're a striker, this is another thing. Go back to the strikers, Martin. Strikers feed off crosses. And we don't get enough crosses in the box. We don't.
Well, but then are we playing to that strength? Are we playing to get crosses into the box?
But football's changed, hasn't it? We're not the only team who plays this keep the ball, possession based.
He got 1 goal for Middlesbrough last season. Doesn't look like he got any assists.
But then he's not. He's hardly been a prolific scorer, I think, at Chesterfield and Wigan, Matt, before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it'd be interesting in the summer. Will he be looking to add another midfielder in there who can score goals, or is it now you've got probably tomorrow? Lee Evans is fit. He comes back. He's in my team. He'll do the sit-in and Morsey gets forward. But surely as a midfielder, someone in there has got to score the goals. You can't just be relying on your striker.
Well, this is it.
And your 2-10s and Wes Burns.
But then Evans got the hat-trick in Morsey's first game, didn't he? I don't think he's had a shot since.
No, well, wasn't that his first career hat-trick or first one in a long time? Yeah. Carl Brooks, I know the striker's role primarily is to stick it in the back of the net, but the service at the times isn't good enough. Final ball throughout the team has been so poor. That's true. Ashley Smith, I haven't been as much in the last 5 years as I have this, and I'm going to the last 4 away games, and I'm really enjoying it. Great to hear, Ash. Love that. YouTube member, Ashley Lewis. McKenna ball is controlled possession. It may result in less goals on the cook, but who cares? Yeah, he did say that actually in the interview this week. Then he said, we're going to dominate most, if not all, games. And you do that with the ball, to be fair.
Well, did they took him away, didn't they? And scored, 3 in the first 20 minutes or whatever. So you can score goals with that.
It's funny. It's funny you say that, Matt. I was looking at the amount of goals we scored this season. So we scored 49 in 32 games.
Okay.
Right? But we've scored 18 goals in 4 games. We've got 6 against Doncaster. We've got 4 at Wickham, Gillingham and Portsmouth. So take that 18 off. We've scored 31 goals in 28 more games.
Yeah.
I know you get your total over the season. Listen, so that is a bit.
Course. But that's not promotion form, is it, in terms of goals? Unless you're winning 1-0 every game, of course.
Yeah, there you go. Lewis, be interested to see who comes into the recruitment department. A couple close to being announced. # Moneyball. I did say Moneyball in the takeover show. Right back then, I said it's going to be. Come on, keep your ears open, guys. It's all there. We lay the crumbs. Chris Boyd, Burton has signed an out of contract. Well, this is it. This is the result of McKenna ball. Everybody is scared stiff. Watch out for Nicky Butt to come out of retirement soon, I reckon, because every time they see Town on the fixture list, they are worried. Should we be hunting around for a goal scorer whilst with a glimmer of hope and no one on?
He's played no football for 2 years. This guy.
He's played less than you, football. I think.
No. These players, they're without a club for a reason because they've been injury prone.
Big word. Oh dear. That's a bad omen. That is. That is a clipped up Saturday night, ready to rock and roll. Good grief.
I'd be surprised if he started tomorrow.
He's been training with them for a while, I think.
They've just won 3-1 against Bolton. They're not really going to change their team up, are they? I wouldn't have thought so.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Mark Wall is going to be controversial. The only reason our previous managers weren't successful is down to Evans not giving us the budget.
It's interesting. Can you go back to Lewis's comment about Tommy Miller and Matt Holland? It's just about we were lucky to have them. But I think football's changed now. You know, you used to play 4-4-2. You used to have your midfielders, whereas there you go. Look, 10 goals a season. From
Tommy Miller scored a lot of pens, didn't he? But yeah, he threw it right box to box. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and we don't do that now. Football's it's changed, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it has. Well, has it? I don't know. Midfield in Frank Lampard. This is top level, but midfield players.
Even going back to Frank Lampard, how long ago was that?
Yeah.
Don't age me.
Years now, aren't they?
Don't age me. Don't age me. Don't age me. Please don't. I mean, you are right. Football has changed. You know, goalkeepers now are expected to be better with their feet than their hands. It's madness at times.
True.
Paul P. Our set pieces and corners are awful. True. We need to do something about that to score a few more goals. Which I think is where our mate Sean McConneville is getting all his assists from. I might be wrong.
Well, he got 3 last week, Martin. 3 set pieces, and he scored.
There you go.
It's all about delivery in the box. You got to put good balls in. You know, if you got good delivery, you're going to have a chance. Remember Neil Thompson, Matt, when he played.
Yeah.
The corners he used to put in.
Rocket of a We got in the Premier League. You got Salah's top scorer with 16. Then Diogo Jota has got 12. He's a midfielder, isn't he? Jota?
No,
is he a 10?
Plays in the 3 up top.
Raheem's got 10. Then Ronaldo 9. Son at Tottenham's got 9. He's Vardy, Mikel Antonio, Fernandes. I suppose he's a 10, isn't he? I guess he's got 8. But yeah, maybe the game has changed.
There you go. We're only finally now catching up. Budgie, Cruncher, as you said the other day, it's all about the ball in the onion sack.
Exactly. Football is made. It's too, like you were saying, Martin, when I think it was it Wednesday's show when you had about XG and all that fucking absolute bollocks. Yeah. It is. It's all about getting the ball in the box, getting the ball in the net and keeping it out of yours. I did agree with McKenna when he said about keeping the ball. If we have the ball, it's obvious the opposition won't score.
People like to complicate it, don't they? They like to complicate it. Don't overcomplicate League One. I'm pretty certain Rotherham bouncing between Championship and League One aren't overcomplicating it. Because they seem to be pretty good every time they come down, don't they?
Well, don't forget my favourite, the Etch-a-Sketch. Fucking love those ones. Absolutely love them. It's like, what the fuck? Who let the 5-year-old out with the crayons? Every week you see him. Or the best one is when you win a game of football and people post like sort of tables that says, with this current points per game, we're going to go up. You mean if we win games, it improves our chances?
Yeah,
if we lose game, it decreases them? Is that a shock in 2022?
Like, they should be accountants, these people. They're just like maths, I think. Yeah. See what I mean? Well, Robson didn't have all of this, and John and Patrick Cobbold didn't have all of this, and they were our most successful years. Okay, the game's changed a little bit. The end goal's still the same. Score goals. Yeah.
That said, I am open to new ways and new methods. So you never know. Watch this space for a tactical show coming to you soon. That's Stannard. XG is silly. That's the Nan has Will stat. Absolutely. Gary Denny. The team as a whole has grown in confidence, except for the strikers who have dithered and missed chances. When Bond, Chapman and Nord get together, look out, League One. Well, we've only got 2 or 3 months left. Yeah. Gary, let's hope they get it together pretty soon.
April the 30th. Can you believe that?
Yes, and on a Saturday. So, it's not being moved.
League 2 and Championship finished a week after us. It's strange, isn't it?
It is a bit strange. Yeah. Talking being a bit strange. What is strange is what you would, if you don't shop around to try and save yourself money. Woodpecker protect. Look at that segue. Ooh. Woodpecker. Mortgage and protection. The experts. Honestly, you'd be mad to not head to Graham, who's a Town fan, talk football, and then also see if he can save you money on some wonderful things, such as life insurance. We all need that. Income protection, home insurance, private medical insurance.
You need insurance today with all these fucking fences blowing over.
You do. Yeah. Is your home insurance
coming off your roof?
Oh, mate. Yeah. You say that, but I got huge trees outside. I got woken up by must be a maid, 6:30 this morning, saying, "Is our home insurance up to date?" It's 6:30 in the morning. What are you on about? Is our...
I'll tell you, I forgot to touch on it. The thing today, what everyone should have been watching, and if you haven't been watching it, you're Pinocchio.
It was good
Big
TV.
Jet TV.
It was
Absolutely quality.
It was unbelievable telly. It was great.
It was.
It was.
Still, those pilots was something else, wasn't it?
That should be in the Olympics because, you know, literally the skill level. But not only
the commentator, he was great. I love. Was it Jeff? Was that his name?
Yeah.
He was brilliant.
He was so enthusiastic. But
I even subscribed to the channel, Matt. I even pressed subscribe.
So did I.
Me too. I ain't missing that again. It was great.
Yeah, have you seen the O2? Have you seen the roof of the O2?
Yeah. Shredded.
Looks like a pair of my boxes. I won't lie. We've all got them. But look, those pilots had skill. Graham at Woodpecker Mortgages and Protection has got skill to save you money. So head there, call him 016
Jerry Dyer
337 447 or email Graham at woodpeckermortgages.co.uk. And don't forget, if you do not keep up repayments on your mortgage, your home may be repossessed.
You know it makes sense, you lovely lot.
There you go. You know it makes sense. Absolutely. Right, 1 to 11 time. I've only got one.
No, Matt forgot to do it.
Matt was being lazy.
No, I'll let Matt off because the boxing show, if you haven't seen it, go and watch it because it's brilliant.
Yeah, it wasn't that fucking good to get off putting 1 to 11 in. But yeah, it was fine. 20 minutes of greatness. Here we go. Here is Richard's Crunchers bedsheet 1 to 11.
Your goalkeeper and back three are kind of picking themselves these days, aren't they, Rich?
Yeah, I think they're. Even though Martin was saying about Donatian the other week, you know, you might want to replace him. Them four there. They'll play the remaining 14 games of the season if they're fit.
Yeah.
Thompson at left back, same. It was interesting. They did say, Matt, that they've been trying Edwards on the right, haven't they? In Burns' position.
Yeah. Same,
but
Matt.
unfortunately, he's that's another thing. We've hardly had any injuries in training, have we, this season?
Very true. Yeah.
What was the girl's name, Martin, who done the interview? Works down there. She does the soft tissue injuries. I was reading yesterday on the East Anglian.
Fuck. No, you've got me. I don't know. I don't know her name.
She's been doing a really good job. Obviously, when we were doing this podcast,
Alice Greenrod.
That's the one. When we were doing this podcast last season, when Lambert was in charge, it was like we used to on a Sunday, didn't we? We would have the casualty music out.
Yeah,
because it was a Friday. It was a Friday when Lambert would do his presser, and you always knew someone was going to be fucking injured, didn't we? Who is it?
Yeah, the ambulance.
It was like
that's how Ben
Milk Tray Man Ben used to do, didn't it?
Yeah, he used to do injury bingo. That's how he became known, and that's how he got onto the platform. Really, injury bingo was a big thing of his.
So are we saying that's a change of ownership regime thinking? Because it's certainly a lot less than what it was this time last year, isn't it? Even though we've lost Edwards and it's disappointing news, and Evans has been struggling. It's what was it like 14, 15 players at one point last season?
Yes.
Along those lines, wasn't it? So
it was loads at one point, but then I think you said it, when you're winning or playing well, you want to be involved, don't you?
Yeah, they do. Everyone does seem to get fit, doesn't it?
But I'm not going to ask you about injuries, Rich. That's a very, very stony ground. I don't want to go back there.
Oh, come on. Matt Holland even called me out, didn't he, last season?
I just remembered. I had a really bad moment. I'm flashing back. Let's move back onto the team.
But so look, Burns.
It's a good team. It's a good team.
Yeah, Evans is fit. He was ill last week, Matt Evans. That's why he didn't play.
Okay.
So he's obviously had the groin injury. He's had the groin, hasn't he?
Are we trusting Selena?
We know you're not.
Is he going to deliver for us?
Who did you play there?
You did all right last week, I suppose, but
you could go a number 10 and then play two strikers, which he could do tomorrow. He might play Bon and Norwood, or he might do the split with Selena and Chaplin.
I'd love it. I'd love nothing more than we've had to go at Selena a little bit on this show. Then he gets the winning goal that sends us to the Wembley or gets us promoted. That'd be just fantastic.
Was he measuring the grass, Lee O'Neill, last season?
Yes. I just remembered that bit. Yeah.
Well, that was another thing, wasn't it? They brought up in the Kings of Anglia thing about the training ground, and obviously the standard of the pitches at the training ground are not very good neither. So,
were you shocked by that? I was a little bit shocked by that because we've always been led to believe these facilities are wonderful.
It's a shithole. When they had that Friday last week, it was a pity the whole fucking lot didn't go up.
Yeah, getting a bit.
It needs a massive rebound. That was built like over 20 years ago when George Burley was in charge. We're so outdated. We're miles behind some of these teams.
Indicative of the Evans regime, that isn't it?
Like we were saying, Matt, went on the phone today. Leicester City.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago we were playing them.
Yeah.
When McCarthy came in.
Port Cabin FC.
You'd have said we were a bigger club than them. Not
exactly
a few years ago.
Look, let's get it right. It was a big for me on the outside looking in. It was a huge underinvestment on and off the pitch, and it was simply what simply kept you going as a professional club.
Evans spent too much in those first couple of years, didn't he? Back in Keane and all that kind of stuff, and then when he went to pot a little bit, he very in the purses, didn't he?
But it very much still is, though, Matt. It wasn't what he did or didn't spend, or more how he did or did not spend it. And
lack of ambition is what you're looking at, is it?
Well, somebody actually who has a football brain in there isn't just doing knee-jerk things for the sake of their job.
Yeah,
you have to have somebody, and this is what I've always said. You have to have somebody who's a bit like Mark Ashton, who is removed from the situation, whose job isn't as reliant on short-term goals.
Yeah,
because when you're a manager, like James Norris said on this podcast, he wasn't always fit. He came back earlier than he should have done. That wasn't right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I would prefer what we've got now, obviously, 100 times over what we've got Evans. I mean, I was saying to Rich on the phone today, listening to Ashton on the interview, he's very typical what you get in football circles. You know, I was privileged to be around that at the FA. He's very much of what I'd call a football suit. He's quite earnest. He's very serious, but he takes himself very seriously. And, you know, what was he saying, Rich? That's a great question at this football club.
Matt said that he's cheesier than a bag of quavers.
Yeah, I find it hard to take him seriously, to be honest. But, yeah, he's a million times better than what we had under the previous regime. And he's been around football for a long time. He's got a football brain. But yeah, something just makes me laugh. It is a little bit Brent-esque, the dashboard and all that kind of thing. I've got no time to get down the training ground. I'll be in a couple of weeks, but I've got no time right now. Just makes me chuckle a little bit, that's all.
It's a meeting of the minds.
Patrons. We're the patrons. Stakeholders, that's what he calls us.
Stakeholders, yeah. Got stakeholders in the game. Yeah, you can tell he's been around.
If you look, you put it on the WhatsApp group, I think, was it yesterday or the day before? Look at the losses that Bristol City are now making, Martin.
Yeah.
412,000 a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
That's lumpy.
That's a great question.
What a great question that was. Back to your team. I would just change the striker. I would go with Big Bad Joe Pigott. That's what I'd go with this week. Why not? It's like the old Thunderball. It is you this week, Pigott. Your numbers have come up.
Yeah,
in you go.
You could pick any of them. I don't think Jackson will play it at home on his own.
That's a shame.
If Jackson played, I think it'd be in a 2.
And no one's particularly pulling up trees, are they, out of any of them? So you could have a risk and put Pigott in, for example. Yeah.
Rennie Gilmartin is our document coach, Jeremy, who was also at the Mill, it turns out, as well. So quite a high position within the coaching team. Apparently so, yeah. McKenna, Ashton, Rennie Gilmartin, and a few other senior coaching members, I think I read.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was just as surprised as anybody else. Yeah, he's not doing too bad.
Got him in. Now he's part of the furniture.
And AD asked...
He's bringing the plates out because he's good with his hands.
Yeah.
He's here all week. And AD asked earlier in the chat, and I meant to get to it, who does the McKenna interviews. The McKenna interviews are, I think is it Phil Ham, one of Watson and Warren, or both of Watson and Warren?
The press are.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'd be a few in there, wouldn't there? Probably half a dozen, I would have thought, probably.
Yeah. It's half a dozen of people. That's who it is.
But not that man up the top there, and he should be there.
Not yet, anyway.
Come on.
It's all too rosy at the moment. You want me there when old King Lambo was there. That would have been a great time.
Yeah. King Lambo, who might be actually, where's he going to pop up? Aberdeen.
Nothing club. Matt, if he deserves better. If only a striker called Eunice. Is it Eunice? Is that how you say it?
Eunice, yeah. Eunice.
Is that the Storm, Eunice?
Yep.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
What do you think it was?
I don't know. I've been looking at it all day, thinking how the fuck.
Some old granny.
I've been really panicking about that today. How do I pronounce that? And I'm thinking, I just can't.
Eunice.
I'm not going to get it right. Eunice. I did it right. There you go. Lewis Robinson, happily be IT's manager to live at the Salt House.
Yeah. Not bad gig, is it?
Not bad. Not bad. That is it. £3. Kerry, thank you very much. We appreciate you. We love you, Kerry. Thank you. Who actually, Kerry had a nice little week on the prediction league last week. She moved herself up. Sorry. He's moved himself up quite well. Yes. Sorry.
I used to work with Kerry a long time ago.
Sorry.
Back in the glory days when we had George Burley in charge, Matt. He used to come to loads of games with me. Lives in Leeds. Lives in Leeds.
All right.
Oh, fucking hell.
Let's go.
That's like 300 quid up there, isn't it? 3 quid.
Oh, fucking.
I love you, Kerry. I do. Thank you so much. I was only joking. Right, score predictions, please.
Can you get that 3 quid back?
Yeah, refunded.
Don't know, yeah.
Score predictions for tomorrow.
Sorry, Kerry.
Well, we lost 2-1 to them there, didn't we? I wonder if our season would have turned out a little bit different if we'd won that game because we missed the
Scott Fraser scored that penalty.
Yeah. I think we'll win tomorrow. I think we'll win 2-0.
Yeah. 2-0. Love it.
2-0.
Matthew lives in Leeds, says Colin Plum. Eunice would break down any defence, says 80. Love that.
Nice.
449 from Lewis. Big win for the Fishermen tomorrow. Absolutely.
Said Lewis.
See what I have been hearing actually more and more important Road Rich is our mate's song. That's been played more and more, I reckon. I've heard that quite a few times.
Yeah, I heard it. George's song when I come in the ground the other week. They were playing it.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Good.
Evening, Ben. Hope you're well. Thank you so much for popping by. But yeah, I think that's a great song. But yes, absolutely. For the Fisherman. We love him. Rich, 2-0 says the Mogul.
We just need to win the game. But we all want to win well. I know that. Burton are not a bad side. They're not a bad side. If they win tomorrow, they go level on points with us. So if we're not on it, Lewis Aikins doesn't play for him now. I'm a little bit disappointed, Matt, because he played for Burton for years, didn't he?
Where's he gone now, then?
Out Mansfield. Cluffy signed him down there. I think he's doing a good job.
Basically.
Well. Yeah. I think it'll be a really tight game, and I think it will be a 1-0 Town win.
Nervous.
With Burson Salinas scoring a winner and then running over to the Magna stand, pulling his shirt up and a T-shirt on it saying, "Why always me?" With a little Matt's face on it.
I love that. I do like Burson, don't get me wrong. I just think he's been underwhelming.
Well, he's been our best player, but that doesn't... When you sit in the ninth, that doesn't necessarily say too much, does it? Lee Brown, tight 3-1. Gone for the Tux there. Very tight. 3-1. He did that to me on Wednesday, Tux. He just literally did me. He was very tight, and then he's come at this score that was nowhere near. Colin 3-1. Nick Muller 3-0. Matt Stannard, Ipswich 4, Burton 1. Kieran would like more than one goal scored. Irv's gone for 2-1. Nice player called Stormy Eunice is putting up trees at Stockport. Ben King's throwing late. Was someone to score for tomorrow? 2-0. 4-0. Fuck me. We have some negativity.
I'll take a 1-0 win tomorrow, and I'll take a 1-0 win against Cheltenham on Tuesday night.
I like nobody. Jackson with the Luca and Chaplin behind. Wing backs and Morsey in support. Options off the bench. Going to be border feet tomorrow if it's blowy. 3-1. Oh, the good doc, 20 quid. Thank you very much. The good doctor. Loving it. Mike D. Really sorry, Gov. How has been best?
Selena.
He's talking with Keith, isn't he?
The stats suggest he has. He's created the most chances, which is what you want.
He's very grumpy. He's nearly as grumpy as you, Matt, sometimes.
Yeah. He's probably had the
He hasn't enjoyed this season. I was talking to Mike the other week. He hasn't enjoyed this season.
No. I do feel a kindred spirit with Mike, but I am enjoying it right now, I've got to say. But yeah, for many months I wasn't. No, absolutely.
I reckon Mike D has just picked up his credit card bill with that Christmas tree on it. That's what I reckon.
No, maybe.
He's just realised he spent 62 quid.
He's drinking fizz tonight. Is it Bucks fizz he's drinking?
Mike's rant in front of the Christmas tree on the Baileys was one of my Christmas highlights.
It was great. It was a great moment. Yes, we make that an every year occurrence, an annual tradition of the Mike D in front of the tree with these Baileys. Absolutely. Paul P. Crowd need to be patient tomorrow and get behind the team from the off. Absolutely. Well, I'm not as confident as I was when I started the show because everyone's gone for a town win, and that normally means we are going to slip up. So I'm now going to go to bed depressed. Thanks, guys.
We're normally good against Burton at home.
Yeah.
We normally beat them at home, don't we?
I don't think I've done a show yet, though, where all the chat have gone for a win and we've actually won.
Makes a change, though, doesn't it? It's nice to see people optimistic off the back of
we did sit on here at the start of the season, Matt, and say we'd beat Burton and we'd beat Cheltenham.
Well, you did.
Hang on. He went for 15 points up the top there. You went for 15 points.
I think we'll win every game, me. I think we'll win every. I'm like Colin in that respect. Particularly at the start of the season, I don't think we're going to lose the game all year, and then we do.
What did you say? What did you say the other day about Colin and Stephen Parry? If Paul Monroe was on fire, they'd still be positive.
Oh, they could be the burning building. They'd still say that everything's all right. Like they're just that way. They're that way wired. I'm not like
they
that.
Actually, to have, yeah.
I saw 1-0 Bolton with a last-minute header.
Kieran, of course you can get an interview after the game. Kieran, Sir Ralph Ramsey statue. Everyone is welcome. The microphone is live. We pass it around. Yeah. You have your say, whatever you want to say.
But do not hands up to the rain.
Yes, but do not forget, Prediction League, week 25, we have a wonderful spot prize. If you get any points, you go into a prize draw to possibly win this great book.
I'll tell you one thing. That book will be correct.
Oh, here's a question for... What do you mean now? Well, what's not correct now?
Colin's book.
Colin's book.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to go at me again, because you normally like to say about my fixtures not being the right way round, like it really matters that much. But
it does annoy me today.
I did. Well, of course, it annoys you. Everything annoys you.
Norwich are going to get absolutely smashed tomorrow because they absolutely always rinse them.
All right, here you go. Two questions. I have got two questions. 563 in the book. This is, ladies and gentlemen, in the 2000-2001 Premier League season, where did Ipswich Town finish? A third, B fourth, C fifth, or D sixth?
Too easy. Too easy.
Well, come on,
George Burley.
Fifth.
Well done, George.
Fifth.
564. Which Spanish striker was a fan's favourite during his two spells of the club in 01 and 05 and then 07 to 011?
Oh, that's just something we don't know. It's easy.
What, you two are something you don't know?
Dan Campo. I mean, I don't think Dan Campo.
I don't think that's a possibility to ask you what you. Okay, here we go. Which non-league side Ipswich sorry. Which that's that tonsillitis trying to break free again. Which non-league side did Ipswich sign current Villa and England? Oh, for fuck's sake! Even I know that one. Without even looking, I can't. You know who it was. Which winger did Ipswich Town sign from local Suffolk non-league side Bury? You know that one.
Yeah, Milts, absolutely friend of the show, Milts. Di Cornell signed for Town from League Two side on a free transfer. Which League Two side did he sign from? Real keeper.
Yeah. But there are better questions in there, obviously. I just can't. I mean, true or false? 1970 striker Kevin Reeves cost Man City $1 million when he joined from Norwich City. Can you name the year he signed?
That must have been about 1980.
Rich?
78.
There we go. Fucking yeah. Not so much big blocks now, are we, boys?
81.
Now look at you. Need some armbands here, don't we?
Are you going to tell us then?
Yeah, when I'm getting to the page, building suspense. Fuck me, you're not going to make a host, are you?
I'm still going. It was either 79 or 80.
188. Richard, you've not had a prediction yet. Which year do you think it is?
I said 78.
1980.
Yes!
Mike D's got a question for you in the chat before we go.
Who signed?
I know you were winding us up the other day.
Oh, who is Ipswich Town's greatest ever goalkeeper? Well, that's a great question, Mike D. Who do you two think it is, really?
It's got to be Paul Cooper. It has to be Paul Cooper.
I'm going to say Craig Forrest because he came on the show.
Craig Forrest. Well, in my opinion, and my opinion is always right as the host, I think the greatest ever goalkeeper is.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without